And now, as I'm sure someone said before, you're really in for something quite amazing for this next phase. We are now going to enter into Hour 2, which is a showcase of performance poetry. And we're going to begin with our event host and panel member, C. Stephen Blue.
Hey.
Welcome, Stephen. Okay. Let me tell you a little bit about him. Just a little bit, okay? You just have to stand there and be nervous, all right?
Okay.
Okay. Stephen describes himself as a lyrical/performance poet. He's retired from 27 years of stage production in Hollywood, California, and has hosted open mic readings in California and Oregon. He retired to Eugene 5 years ago to write, publish, and perform his poetry. We got here about the same time. He's a member of the Willamette Writers, Lane Literary Guild, and Oregon Poetry Association. He organized 3 poetry events for the Eugene Public Library this summer, including this one. And I have to say, of all the things I've been involved in and done over the years, this has been one of the most amazing and wonderful experiences to work with you. So my personal thanks, Stephen. Okay. He's published 4 books, including Word Songs, SOS, Songs of Sobriety, A Personal Journey of Recovery, and his new chapbook, Wildweed. Now, please, everyone, warm welcome for our host, C. Stephen Blue.
Thank you so much, Michelle. Hello, everyone. I hope you're all having a good time so far. Take this back just a little bit. We worked long and hard to bring you this program today, and I'm really glad to be here, and I'm glad you're here too. Thanks for coming out for this fun event. I would like to say a personal thanks to Pat Edwards and Groundwaters Magazine for being the first to support my poetry here in Oregon. And when I introduced Groundwaters earlier, Pat wasn't here. Could you stand, Pat, so we can see you? Yeah. Give a hand to Pat Edwards, Groundwaters Magazine editor. Okay, I'm going to read 2 poems and then do a little performance for you. And I think I'm going to adjust the sound just a little bit. It seemed to be just a little hot there. That's a little better, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. The first poem, the first 2 poems I'm going to read are from my new chapbook, Wildweed. And I have some back there in case you want to support my work. The first one I'm going to read is titled Death of the Poet, in reply to Response and Reconciliation by Octavio Paz. I am nobody. I am little, small, nothing. Have you read the final poem of Paz? I am mute, in my meaningless meanings minute. My emotional ramblings, musings, but superficial ravings. I want to have meaning in a meaningless world that is mean, not fair. But I have not the education necessary to truly discern what is not meaningless, nor to describe what is meaningful. Those of you who were at our workshop here last week have already heard this next poem, so I hope you won't mind hearing it again. This poem is titled Poezija, the Ballerina. Poezija is the Russian word for poetry. I wrote this poem for Nina Ananiashvili, a prima ballerina of the Bolshoi Ballet, when I was working on the Bolshoi in 1990. It is about 2 prima ballerinas, one about to retire and one who is just coming up. And there's an interesting story behind this poem. The poem has 3 parts. As was said earlier, I'm retired from a 27-year career in stage production. I was working as the foreman on a backstage rigging crew when I wrote part 2 of this poem. It was written literally on a steel beam 80 feet in the air while rigging a new fly rail system at the Shrine Auditorium in Los Angeles, California in the summer of 1990. We were on a deadline to get the fly rail system working for the new season of the Bolshoi Ballet, which was arriving at the Shrine Auditorium in 3 weeks. While watching union welders create new structural support beams for the system and while waiting for parts to be hoisted from the stage 80 feet below, I found the time and inspiration to write a poem. As I had no pen and paper, only the Sharpie in my tool belt, I used it to write on one of the new steel beams, which I just happened to be sitting on. The original writing still exists on that structural beam itself, high over the backstage grid of the theater. Now, part 3 of this poem was written backstage 3 weeks later for Nina Ananiashvili, the new prima ballerina for the Bolshoi. As it turned out, this would be their final tour performed in the United States before the USSR split apart and the Bolshoi as we had known it all but disappeared. This part of the poem was written backstage while I was working on the ballet as I watched Nina dance in her premiere performance for the season. I later presented it to her, and she in return presented me with an autographed Bolshoi cap with the inscription, "To Stephen, the best poet in America." And finally, part 1 of this poem was actually written last. When I was structuring the poem parts into one piece, it became evident to me that the poem represented the retiring of one prima ballerina and the new shooting star of another. I wrote the first part as an homage to the Bolshoi's senior prima ballerina who was about to retire, and it seemed like serendipity to me that the 3 parts fit so well into one poem. Now, near the end of the poem, you will hear the phrase, "No feather, no down." This is the Russian way of saying, break a leg. So, Poesia, the ballerina. 1. An aged tree struggles to grow free from itself. Its outer branches turn inward, twisting, turning, pushing in and up, then outward again, as it struggles through life, throughout the years, a countless calendar for all intents and purposes, an ode to our inhumanity to nature, if it could speak. The prima ballerina retires. 2. Structured steel, struggling to be free of itself, countless cables of iron twisting across, downward, around each other, then upward again. Giant steel beams pinnacle upwards, as if struggling for life. A welded calendar, dedication of humanity to science and entertainment is what it seeks. The prima ballerina is born. 3. Poesia, you are the ballerina. The song of your dance takes wings in my heart. It soars, it flies inside me, but you are the swan. Poesia, like a flowing verse is your rhythm. Your movements melt together like snowflakes in the sunshine. Twirl me into a trance. Take all of me into your dance. No feather, no down. Your passion is poesia. You are the ballerina. Now I'm going to do a little performance for you. This first one is titled Short Stories. Sorry. One more time here. Short stories. Just sitting here writing a rhyme and thinking, I can't do it. But as soon as I get past the fear, then I just get to it. And it flows much the same as before when I've come to what seems a locked door. And I think this is surely the end. But the door opens up once again. Fear tells me I've nothing to say. Yet here I am once again on my way to completing this line just in time to finish another short rhyme. Be my morning star, I'll be your sunshine. Stay the way you are, this day will make you mine. The wind that blows you to me is a thing called love. The teardrops that you drop on me from up above, you are my cloud. Morning star, shine for me, my life-giving rays will shine inside you. Morning star by the sand and sea, you touch me, I touch you. Sunlight, bring my sunny day. Promise what you may, but come here along the way. I need someone to hold me tight, to kiss me when it's right, and love me through the night. Riding in the breeze so free, going just the way I was meant to be. Yet I don't know where to go to find that soft, warm hand. Just trying to find some life in this cold wasteland. In the city, it's too noisy. I don't think my warmth is there, because everyone's just running in a hurry to go nowhere. So I guess I'll hit the country just to see what I can see. Then maybe, when the time is right, my warmth will come to me. Sunlight, bring my sunny day. Promise what you may, but come here along the way. It's not that we're different. How can it be? It's just that we care more now, can't you see? If the feeling is real, then it's one to believe that we all can perceive what is real. If we feel it's our way, then we'll make it someday. And it's here, it's right now. I must show you, but how? You must pick up on something much closer right now. Just to see you, just to be with you. If you know this feeling, then it all will work out. I just want you together. We all must come now. Yes, where love sticks together, it's here, and here's how. It will stand as it stood, but the love's deeper now. And I don't even know if the time is right now. But it's just that I'm feeling, so feeling, somehow. If it's right at the time that you feel it, which it is, then it's a feeling. You know you can't steal it. It's a feeling that must be given, but cannot be given right, unless you feel that it is right at the time you feel it. But then, who reacts on these? I say, who goes on these first feelings? It's a feeling must be given, but cannot be given right, unless you give it at the time you feel it's right. The bright-eyed man walked wearily in the sand. Deep in thought, he pondered the dreamers and the schemers. As he gazed into the night sky, a shooting star blazed its final request, and the bright-eyed man beseeched the moonlight. How do I live my dreams when all this reality demands my time? To which the full moon winked and replied, is this reality, or does it merely drift on the mist of dreams and imagination? I'd like to thank my friend Danny Ingalls for the guitar work on that one. And this one is called Oh Big Sky. Oh big sky. Are you watching over me? Shall I say what I feel is real today? Will they listen to me now? Will it matter anyhow? What shall I do for my soul? Master, do you practice what you preach? So you think your way is faster? Tell me, What is it you teach? Do you show us how to love each other with more feeling every day? Are you helping anyone with more feeling, as you say? Oh, inspiration, are you watching over me? Shall I say what I feel is real today? Will they listen to me now? Will it matter anyhow? What shall I do for my soul? If you want to start somewhere, then start by being true. Because if you ain't true, then we'll find somebody new. Now maybe you can help us all with what it is you preach. But please don't say you know it all. There's always more to teach. Sky, are you watching over me? Shall I say what I feel is real today? Will they listen to me now? Will it matter anyhow? What shall I do for my soul?
I'd like to say a big thanks to my good friend Brian Burton for the guitar work on that, and also to my lovely wife Paulette for the tambourine. And for my last piece today, I'd like to do the title poem from my new chapbook, While We. My stuff is rough, it's bare bones. I hate to answer telephones. I want to look you in the eyes when we speak. But it ain't no use in this fast-paced world to ride a horse or court a girl. If you take your time to get there, she's just moved on. And what becomes of the alley cat on the night of the hard driving rain, when the lightning speaks loud and everyone crowds in the shelter of warm window panes? I live my life in a pot-bellied stove. I'm an oak tree with ages to tell. I'm the earthquake commander, a green salamander, a salesman with nothing to sell. But did you see me on the night of the new, when everything changed in an instant? The air was so clean and the grass was so green that a new age did not seem so distant. In the quiet, an angel calls, awakened by the engine stalls of the inner city, pondering its sleep. The dream is a draftsman, a hill-dwelling craftsman, a step in a puddle on the road to forever, and life is a boat in a green castle moat. We all circle yet must row together. Now is then, and yesterday's tomorrow. But how can we live it like we mean it, when we're running so fast that the race cannot last? and the space in between lies unseen? Or is that to lay in a meadow and ponder the meaning of the wild blue yonder, the stars at night, or a daffodil? The momentum is great as it rolls down the hill of imagination gone to seed. I'm a wild weed. Why do I feel so safe in the rain and long to sit behind waterfalls? I gaze at blue crystal, I tell tattered tales, and listen when eternity calls. Maybe this just goes on and on, or maybe the hunger can't fathom the dawn. It's the spark in the dark behind your eyes. When you sleep just a moment and then it is gone and you weep. Sheltering skies pour forth from your eyes and germinate the seed of my fast-growing need. I'm a wild weed. Yes, I'm a wild weed. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Stephen, can we borrow those drums?
Nah,
Sure.
Bring your drums back. We're going to use it. We got Kenny Reed
All right.
here.
Who's going to use it?
Heas.
Okay. I got to move some stuff out of your ways. And adjust your... So go ahead, Michelle.
Okay, first of all, a wow. Thank you, that was excellent. Okay, now as Stephen's transitioning off stage, we are going to have our own one named individual who doesn't need a last name to be coming forward. Would you say that's accurate? You all know who Izzy is? Okay. Izzy is well known locally for his poetry performance with jazz background. He's performed locally in live theater since 1968 and has been in 3 big screen films, most notably Animal House. I admire anyone who's in Animal House, that's wonderful. Okay. He performed in Ken Kesey's Twister on the road in places like Boulder, Colorado, Seattle, Portland, San Francisco, and of course, Eugene. Please, please welcome Izzy with Jack Niedermann on stand-up bass. Gentlemen.
For your viewing pleasure, Mr. Kenny Reed is going to improvise on those drums. You would have seen Kenny around town if you get out of the house much. Next mic right there. I see it.
Welcome, Kenny.
Stay right in here is where I need to be. How do I sound? Can you hear me? You wait until the music starts. It might get a little more difficult, but I'll talk louder. We're going to do a couple of pieces. First piece by a fellow named Jack Conway, entitled Clothes Make the Man. The second is, well, it's poetry gone political. It addresses the Republican condition, and the title is The Obscenity Prayer. We'll get around to that here pretty soon, but clothes make the man. Clothes make the man, Jack. And that's a fact. They got coats for folks that's got it made. Got maids too. They got hats for cats like us, Jack. And shoes for dudes that's in the mood to be cool. Yeah. They got rags for hags that watches soap operas all the time. Even got pants that dance all by themselves. In case you got no rhythm. Yeah, we got clothes made in Milan, Japan, Iran, even got designer sheets for the Klan. You got that, man? Yeah. They got it all, from presidents to malcontents. Hip, slick, double knits. Yeah, clothes make the man, Jack. Get that in your head. You got risque sachets, got avant-garde leotards, got debonair underwear, got them high heels for Lucille and obscene jeans for Geraldine. You know the kind I mean, Jack, the ones she likes to wear. Yeah. Clothes make the man, Jack. Get that in your head. There ain't no cop a cop, no none a none, no priest a priest, or bum a bum without the threads. Yeah, clothes make the man, Jack, till you're dead. Then, of course, y'all just naked again. Thank you. This other part's cheating because I'm reading most of it.
We all do.
Anyway, like I say, this is poetry gone political, and it addresses the Republican condition. It's a takeoff from the Serenity Prayer, and this is the Obscenity Prayer. Give to me my time and money. Give to me my milk and honey. Give to me my self-respect. Golden chains around my neck. Give to me my supermodel, corporate jet, champagne bottle. Get me out there on the town. Let me spread my wealth around. I can learn to love this life I lead. Just don't take away the stuff I need. Yeah, I feel rosy in the pink. Now please don't make me stop and think. All those dark thoughts in my head just seem like better left unsaid. Give it to me. Give it to me. Give it to me. Give it to me. Give to me my latest fashion. Make my lover burn with passion. Give to me my charm and wit and keep my body young and fit. Give to me my haute couture. Give the world a cancer cure. Serve my breakfast al fresco and let that wine and liquor flow. I can search for truth some other time. Right now I just want what's mine. Let the gangsters rule the street while teachers try to make ends meet. I despise all bleeding hearts. I don't patronize the arts. Give it to me. Give it to me. Give it to me. Right now. Sorry about that World Trade Center. I can't help the ones in need. I got my own damn mouth to feed. Give to me my Playboy channel. Killer weed and sheets of flannel. Lay me down upon my bed with pleasant thoughts to fill my head. Just look at what this world is coming to, and ain't a damn thing I can do. I don't have a leg to stand on. I don't have a neck to land on. I don't have that base of power, and I don't have an extra hour. Give it to me. Give it to me. Give it to me right now. Give to me my tax cut outsource. Build me my own private golf course. Now the Dixie Chicks can kiss my ass, but I still need that backstage pass. Give to me my NASDAQ numbers, Intel trade and E-share blunders. Soldiers to defend my freedom, a script for Valium if I need 'em. Give it to me. Give it to me. Give it to me. Right now. That's Jack Niedermann on bass and Kenny Reed on drums.
And that's Izzy. Thank you so much, Izzy.
Thank you.
All right, you guys can go ahead and start setting up, kids. All right, let's see. So you need this one? All right, folks. Next up, we have another nice treat for you. Kit Chell. The sound's down, so guys can go ahead and get ready and I'll do the sound thing. Kit is a performance poet, theater artist, who has presented work from New York to San Francisco over the last 20 years. He's currently in production of his work, Hard Knock Skin, a poetic opera by Kit Chell. The full opera will be performed in November or December at a venue to be announced soon. Today he will be presenting to us a scene from that poetic opera. Scene 3, The Orchard. Joining him in this performance are Jeanette Rasnack on vocals, Jack Niedermann on bass, and Michael Heas on flute. Please welcome Kit Chell.
Check.
You need to turn that one on.
Technical. By way of introduction.
All right, you should be good, I think. You know how to sound.
By way of introduction, this is the third segment of our opera, Hard Knock Skin. At this point in the story, we have met the protagonist, a tired old man begging on the streets of Eugene, with a floppy cardboard sign that reads, "Anything helps." The old man is a drifter, or would have been called a hobo in earlier times. His skin is weathered, he is broken, he is alone. The words of the opera take place in the mind of the old man. He has a running dialogue with his guardian angel and his former lover, both played by Jeanette Rasnack. I inhabit the voice of the old man. The music is wholly composed and sometimes improvised by Jack Niedermann on bass and Michael Heas on flute. Enjoy. I tell you how to love. Even me had a love once.
Tell me, my friend.
It was long ago, even me once, long ago, had a love.
Of course you did.
And she was everything.
Of course she was.
And we would meet, and we would ease the weary from each other. We would ease the weary from each other.
Like no other.
Easing the day.
Like no other.
Easing the night.
Like no other.
Friends before. We were friends before, and to this day my heart is empty with the loss of her.
The heart of the old man.
Always gathering in the orchard.
I remember the orchard.
Full of sunset delight.
Let us meet again in the orchard down the road. in the neighbor's orchard.
We would steal away to be together, to be alone, to be together, to be alone, to be together is to be alone.
How are you tonight, my love? How is the world treating you?
It is so hard, so hard, so hard to remember that even I had love once. Once I had love.
In the orchard.
In the peach orchard.
In the peach orchard.
We would meet. We would meet. We would meet. And steal the loneliness from each other.
Steal our heart's desire.
Steal a peach. My love.
Yes, steal me a peach.
And now those dreams, hit me like a body blow. Like a body blow to think of what I had and now this.
Never leave me, my love.
I will never leave.
Never leave.
Never leave.
Never leave.
But I am lost. When did I get so lost? And now where is she? Where is she? Where is she gone? Gone, gone, gone. Like my hopes and dreams gone. Like my youth and health gone. Like all my friends begging on the street for a floppy dime or a rag and nickel. Begging on these streets.
Remember the orchard?
Begging on these streets. Life is mean, growing old and tired. I've lost all faith. All faith is gone, gone, gone. And I have nowhere to turn.
Turn to me, my love. Come with me, my love, to the orchard.
Peach orchard?
Remember the orchard?
I remember the orchard.
We would steal loneliness from each other.
Steal the loneliness from each other.
We would kiss.
I remember a kiss.
In the orchard.
But I'm so lost. Why did I ever leave? Thank you.
Thank you, Stephen. Thank you, Margaret.
Wow, absolutely wonderful. That was awesome. Thank you guys so much. Wonderful, wonderful performance. Wow. Well, you all having a good time?
Yes.
All right. Okay, to wind down this hour, we have a wonderful poet who comes to us from Cottage Grove named Leo Rivers. Leo comes to us today from a wonderful poetry group in Cottage Grove who frequent the third Tuesday poetry open mic at the Axe and Fiddle. Leo is a poet and Buddhist who describes himself thus: born in the paranoid Manichaean U.S. versus the Soviet Empire shadows of World War II, graduated in time in 1969 to drive up the I-5 freeway and spend a year in the Haight-Ashbury in San Francisco. City Lights was there, as was Lawrence Ferlinghetti, and the readings up on the North Beach have been published in Denali magazine about 10 times. Cottage Grove has an amazing cultural scene. I found home. Please welcome Leo Rivers.
Hello, people. Should I walk around?
I just want to turn that on for you
Okay.
so you can have some amplification.
One thing about being last on the bill in any hour is by the time it's your turn to read, you're going to have to pee. I promise you. Now, I think it's very interesting that I am doing poems about the end times, the end of the world that's arrived and all of that, as a prophet, and all of the poems were written on an iPhone. I find there's some grim irony in that. As much as I hate this thing and all that Apple represents, I live on this sucker. Really, I do everything with it. But anyway, I'm doing today poems that were written from Astoria on the mouth of the Columbia and down the Willamette through Eugene and onto the Coast Fork to Cottage Grove. It's called Poems of Place and Motion. And get through the table of contents. Okay, the next three poems describe three forts that stand guarding the mouth of the Columbia River that welds Washington, Oregon. These poems describe the end of modernity. In other words, the age of reason, the age of humanism and the scientific method, and all it was supposed to do to inform the general public has been ebbing out like a tide, even though it drives the energy industry and modern civilization that's all testosterone and conquest-based and has little to do with any of these things that used to be our common heritage. So, it's sort of an on the beach. Okay. This poem was written at the Maritime Museum in Astoria, Oregon, June 6, 2009. It's all the other three in the series. The river mouth. A wide mouth divides this gray face like a horizon. Sea steel, sky iron, a wild cold smile, and then the sun and the moon in the same hour like eyes, hooded and grim. The siren sings, "Sail in, sailor." Her tongue is hidden like a shark in the water. The bridge goes miles into the fog. A beginning you can see, but not the end. This welcome is not your friend. The second fort, Cape Disappointment. The end of the world is the horizon to which the jetty points like an old woman's paw, fingernail a concrete battery from the last Great War. The end of the world is walking out of the pines and down onto the rocks, testing the salt and smelling the pressure drop. The end of the world is sitting on a wall thinking how they scrapped the 6-inch disappearing rifles but left the little lighthouse on the beach, like a token of the spent wave of continental tides in return for the seashells cast up by the ocean, and the God of all things submerged that we have kept inside. The third fort is Station Camp, Washington. The sea has Kraken, we have cannon. An unequal battle, man and ocean. We watch the sea, it sees not man. Poseidon knows not the name of Agamemnon. Soldiers watch wary from the shore. Sailors glance often shoreward from the horizon. All crossroads, lintels, and boundaries, women and old age are sacred to Hakati. Oh, black lady, the tides rise with the souls of drowned men to kiss your feet. And in a coda on the beach. Look at that. We run out of road, and still, no place we call home. That is westward ho for most folks who ran out of gas at the Pacific Ocean. The west coast, as far as you can go for most, gotta get out of here, folk. In California, nervous, everything new all the time, you see this. In Oregon's every rural town, each valley for yourself, you see this. Southways keep moving in circles, northways keep hunkering down, both rattling like flies on the windowsill, waiting on Armageddon. Western civilization, from Sumer through Rome and England, till it's the big fat baby face flattening against the window of a toy store waiting for it to open. You see this. And folks come from all over the world to end up here. Do you doubt the flying saucers land? They'll settle down here? Nobody ever puts down roots. It's like they expect God to call up a new Atlantis in the west just out of reach. That's why I moved here and I'm sitting on this beach. Sitting on this beach. Thank you, folks.
Thank you again, Leo. Okay, we'll take another short break, around 10 minutes, and then we'll go into our third hour. Thank you.